Welcome to the Pacific Northwest edition of America Outdoors Radio. We've got a fast-paced hour of fishing, hunting, and conservation covering the nation and the Northwest, including 13 extra minutes of local content you'll only hear on Seattle's Sports Radio 950 KJR.
Happy 2020. I'm glad you're here kicking it off with us. We've got some great New Year's guests for you today. At the end of the program, we're going to talk to longtime Oregon guide Bob Rees, and he's going to tell you why you should be reading The Guide's Forecast, a weekly newsletter that you'll get by email that covers the fishing scene not only throughout the state of Oregon, but Southwest Washington too. At the bottom of the hour, Trey Karskinen with O'Loughlin Trade Shows will join us to preview the big Portland Boat Show coming up on Wednesday the 8th and running through Sunday the 12th. And don't think that you should wait for the Seattle Boat Show, because the Portland Boat Show is the biggest show for welded aluminum boats in the entire world, and it's got all sorts of boats that the Seattle Boat Show won't have. Those are just two of the shows O'Loughlin is putting on in our region this month. The other ones include the Tacoma RV Show at the Tacoma Dome, January 16th through the 19th, and of course, the big Washington Sportsman Show in Puyallup from the 22nd through the 26th. Before we get any further, though, with what's going on around here, let's tell you, as we do every week, what's hot and what's not here in the Pacific Northwest, brought to you by your Puget Sound area Sportsman's Warehouse stores in Everett, Silverdale, Federal Way, and Puyallup, which are ready to meet all of your fishing and hunting needs this year. We'll start off with Northwest Fishing Reports. I've been following a poster named Tony who has been out on the Puget Sound piers a lot this fall and winter, and things are definitely picking up. In fact, during a December 28th outing, Tony and her two friends jigged up 42 squid off the dock at Dash Point, Tacoma between 11 a.m. and 2:30 p.m., which coincided not with high tide, but with low tide. Very interesting. Not the way most folks would do it, but it worked for Tony. Tony posts often, so check those reports at northwestfisheryreports.com if you want the latest on where the squid bite is hot off those Puget Sound piers. WDFW only conducted limited creel checks on Columbia River tributaries over the holidays, but here's what they found between Christmas and New Year's. On the Grays River, 3 bank anglers kept 1 steelhead. On the Elokamin River, 82 bank anglers kept 11 steelhead, released 1 coho, and 6 boats with 14 rods kept 3 steelhead and released 2 steelhead as well. The Klickitat River below Fisher Hill Bridge, 5 bank anglers with 2 coho. On the hunting side of the house, ducks and geese are probably your best bet right now throughout the state, which is thick with mallards, Pindale, Canada geese, and snow geese, though whether or not they'll fly your way is very much weather dependent. Here's hoping for a little wind and rain to get those birds moving and keep them low so they'll pitch into our decoys. What else is open? Cougar hunting season is, though bagging one of these big cats is no easy thing. Bobcat, fox, raccoon, coyote, and rabbit season are open too. Finally, eastern Washington pheasant, quail, and partridge season remains open through January 20th. I have not heard great reports this year about eastern Washington upland bird hunting, but if you can get out after a fresh snow to find the tracks of those birds, they should hold tight and you may well be in business. And if nothing else, you and your dog will get some good exercise in some nice country. Last but not least, if you bought a deer or elk tag this season and you're done hunting until next fall, you may want to report it by January 10th so that you'll be eligible for an incentive permit drawing. 9 special permits will be given away by WDFW in April, 4 of those for any elk and 5 for any deer throughout the state. That's a good reason by itself to report early. In fact, I think I'll do that as soon as I'm done with the show today. And with that, you are now in the know about what's hot and what's not this first week of the year in the Pacific Northwest.
That's your first local shot of the outdoors. Now let's see what's going on across the nation.
From well-known saltwater hotspots to hidden alpine lakes, learn the latest in tips, tackle, and techniques to help you catch more fish.
It's going to be a great show.
Northwest Fishing Reports, Sundays at 5 p.m. on Q13 Fox.
Backcountry hunters and anglers, the men and women working hard to keep public lands in public hands. Check us out at backcountryhunters.org.
It's the big one, the Washington Sportsman Show, presented by Leupold, January 22nd through the 26th at the Washington State Fair and Event Center in Puyallup. Check out the outdoor cooking competition featuring world-class grill masters. Take your kids to the Baxter Auto Parts Trout Pond and don't miss the Kayak Fishing Pavilion. Where else will you find more than 500 fishing, hunting, and outdoor recreation companies under one roof? The Washington Sportsman Show, January 22nd through the 26th at the State Fair and Event Center in Puyallup. Find out more at thesportshows.com.
Ready for more local fishing and hunting? You got it. It's the Pacific Northwest edition of America Outdoors Radio, right here on Seattle's Sports Radio 950 KJR.
For your next local shot of the outdoors, we're checking in with Trey Karskinen. He works with O'Loughlin Trade Shows, and they are putting on one heck of a boat show in Portland, January 8th through the 12th. Trey, tell our listeners more about it.
You bet, John, and thank you for having me on. Actually, I've been around this boat show my whole life in one form or another, and I have to say that the 2020 show, this one, is without a doubt one of the most exciting that I can remember for a number of different reasons. There's some really unique, interesting boats coming to the show. One called the Water Woody, looks like something out of a Jules Verne novel. I don't think there's another boat in the country like this, and it's 33 feet long. It's just a really unique, cool boat. Anybody that's into boating will enjoy seeing this. It's also the largest display of weld aluminum boats in the world are on display and on sale at the Portland Boat Show. All the major manufacturers there. There's a number of new products coming out this year that will be introduced at the Portland Show that we're excited to see from a number of name manufacturers. North River's going to have some new product. Alumiweld will. Kingfisher has a new product slated. Stadycraft. A number of the manufacturers are showing up with brand new stuff to show off at the Portland Show, and it'll be making its debut there.
So, Trey, clearly a lot going on at the Portland Boat Show, and it sounds like if you live in Western Washington, you don't want to wait for the Seattle Boat Show because there's a lot of things at the Portland Show that aren't going to be at Seattle. Is that correct?
That is correct, and there's a number of other boats that I haven't mentioned, but you can find out about them on pdxboatshow.com and look under attractions. There's a lot of cool stuff coming this year.
All right, the website, pdxboatshow.com. That's the website for the Portland Boat Show, taking place January 8th through the 12th at the Expo Center in Portland. If you are into boats, whether for fishing or just for boating, you don't want to miss this, and it is very different from the Seattle Boat Show. Feel free to go to the one in Seattle, but don't miss the one in Portland. Thanks, Trey.
Thank you, John.
Don't leave yet. We've got one more local shot of fishing and hunting to wrap up the Pacific Northwest edition of America Outdoors Radio.
For your next local shot of the outdoors, we've got a New Year's suggestion for you, and that would be to subscribe to the Guides Forecast. I do. It's a wealth of information. Some of that information gets on the show here, too. With us here to tell you more about it is Bob Rees. He and his brother Doug put together the Guides Forecast every week. Bob, great to have you on the air.
Hey, John. Thanks for having me on.
So why don't you explain to our listeners exactly what the Guides Forecast is?
You bet. Well, way back many moons ago when I was a fish checker for the Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife, I had access to a lot of data that other anglers had an interest in. And so I decided after leaving the department to start to start a fishing newsletter. That was pre-internet. That's how old I am. And then when the internet came around and my brother decided to make a web page for me and my fishing guide business, he suggested providing weekly fishing reports, which turned into the Guides Forecast. And we've been doing that for close to 18 or 19 years now.
And it's a great resource because it provides information from all over the state of Oregon, different authors providing different information, and also Southwest Washington too. So this is a good resource, folks. Whether you live in Washington or Oregon, there's a lot of good stuff for you here. When does it come out every week, and how current is the information?
Thanks, John. The information is current. We offer a free version and a paid version of the newsletter. The paid version is $24.95. We have a special going now for $19.95. We guarantee 50 issues a year And it is updated every week. What the format is we have a report section for the newsletter. This is the paid version. And then we have a forecast section based on my years of guiding and the exponential number of years that other guides provide information to the guides forecast provide us. We can estimate how the fishing should be the following week based on weather and tides and that sort of stuff. And then, of course, we have the free version that we send out to around 5,000 subscribers that just give about a 1,500 to 2,000 word update called the Oregon and Southwest Washington Fisheries Update.
The place to go to if you want to find out more, folks, is theguidesforecast.com. That's the website. Sign up for the Guides Forecast, whether it's the free version or the paid version. Again, only $20 for an entire year. This is a valuable resource. It's worth a lot more than that. The website, again, theguidesforecast.com. Check it out. Sign up today, and you will be in the know about fishing in Oregon and Southwest Washington. Bob, thanks for sharing this with us today.
Thank you so much, John.
That's all for this week, but don't worry. We'll do it all again next Saturday morning from 7 to 8, right here on Seattle's Sports Radio 950 KJR.